Hello, everybody. It's Donna Cravata, and we're back again for another Real 50 Over 50 interview. I believe that this is the 130th.
Congratulations.
Exciting. So today we have Julie Noonan, and she is an organizational change strategist, an executive coach, a professional speaker, and host of the podcast Roaming with Restless Women. And she comes by this roaming thing honestly because she also roams around living the RV life. And she brings 30 years of experience across industries, including consulting, Fortune 500 corporations, small businesses, and government. She offers insightful analysis on leadership, workplace dynamics, and the ripple effect of change. As the founder of both a change management consulting firm and a coaching practice for senior women leaders, Julie brings a dual perspective, advising businesses on effective change strategies while coaching leaders through personal and professional transformations. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Donna. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Anytime we get together, we have good conversation.
We do. We do.
So I'm going to just jump in with one of my favorite topics that I saw
Okay.
on your website. What's your take on insatiable curiosity?
Ooh, to me, and this is just me, I'm not judging anyone else, but to me, the minute you give in and you quit asking questions of yourself, of those around you, of the universe, I think you begin to die a little bit.
Mm,
Insatiable curiosity to me means that you continue to question, that you are not, as a lot of old people like me, I'm 62, a lot of people think that you're stuck in your ways. But when you have that insatiable curiosity about things, anybody, any group, anything, I think you continue to grow and you continue to offer value to the world. And that's what I
mm,
want to do. I never want to quit growing or
mm.
exploring or researching something or asking questions
Yeah.
ever. I don't know about you.
Oh, I agree 100%. 100%. I'm curious all the time. Um, and this kind of leads me to another question. What are you
Hmm.
excited to learn? Because things are changing so quickly.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, most recently, I have been learning, getting back into some new crafty kind of things. I know it sounds very, humbling and whatever, but having just had a grandson, it
Mm,
has kind of thrown me back into that early time with my kids
yeah.
where, my relaxation was literally sitting down and crocheting or knitting or just taking a time out, letting my mind wander and not focus on anything specific. So I've been learning new techniques in crocheting and knitting. I also have been exploring painting.
Mhm.
I did an interview with someone who was just amazing to me. She had a brain injury. She was a nurse, couldn't practice nursing anymore. And so she hit a nerve. She had to open up the left side, no, the right side of her brain. She had to open up the right side of her brain. And she never thought of herself as a creative person.
Mhm.
But she was inspired by a woman online who did abstract big canvases, and she tried it, loved it, and now she has a thriving art business.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and so I've been dabbling a little in painting. I love watercolor because it's so unpredictable.
Mhm.
I don't like to fill in the blanks. I don't like to stay in the lines. So
And
she really resonated with me.
so did it open up the right side of her brain?
It did. It did. Her therapist actually said, um, "Are you in nursing? You're using more of your left side, and that's the side that was mostly damaged." And he asked her to do some coloring, and she hated it.
Mhm.
And so she thought, well, I'm just never going to be that creative, person. And then she got inspired by just a YouTube video and she tried it. And that's the key. I mean, we see all kinds of stuff that could inspire us all the time. And we just don't, we go, oh, that's great. We save it maybe, on our phone or whatever. But do we actually try it?
Most of the time, no.
Right.
We live busy
Um, I've
all
been
the
doing
time.
that with cooking lately.
Yeah.
Some really cool recipes out there for the fall. Although, in Orlando, fall is subjective.
I just take a picture of what's in my refrigerator, share it with AI, and it tells me
Oh,
what.
yeah. You told me you did that before. Oh, man. I should try that. I have not done that with AI, but yeah. Yeah, I have been doing a lot more with AI recently, with my business in particular, but not with the clients so much. They
Mhm,
restrict a
mhm.
lot of AI, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so good for research.
They could save a lot of time, just in project management on this project.
Yeah,
Putting in a big project is difficult as it is, and just the administrative overhead is crazy.
yeah, it could keep track of all of those layers.
Absolutely.
But the thing that I'm gonna be trying probably this weekend is I have a 150-page workbook in my program that I wanna
Mm-hmm.
break into smaller workbooks, and that has been, like, weighing on me because I don't really wanna do it. Perplexity tells me that I could be doing this with a couple of different tools where it'll just, redesign it in Google Docs and break it down. So I'm gonna be trying that.
Wow. Well, I love the Friday newsletters that you send out with
Oh,
the
I've got
things that you find, the little tidbits, the little tips and tricks, the new tools. I use those,
that's
when
good
you
to
send
hear.
one out. That it's like almost every single time you send that out, it's like you were reading my mind. Because there's always something in there that I can use immediately, which I absolutely love. So
Well,
thank you for
I
that.
mean, if I can use it, somebody else needs it too, you know?
I
We're
love
all
that though.
kinda doing the same thing out there.
Yeah, well, but it takes effort to translate your process and what you're doing with it to get value to help other people. I mean, turning that is not just cut and paste kind of a situation. You have to put some thought
No.
into it. So I really appreciate it.
No, I try to, add some practical application
Yeah.
to it. I was doing that newsletter a couple of years ago, and, I was consistently getting 75% open rates on it. Of all the
Yes.
things I've done in all the years of my business, that's the only thing I got 75% open rates on. And then I stopped because I had a health issue, and I had to stop just about everything, and then I was wanting to, like, do a newsletter again, and I just, like, I spent, like, a month, like, beating myself up over what should this be? And then it was like, "Well, why don't I just do what I already know that works? It's easy for me to do, people like it, and it's
Oh,
different."
yes. Isn't that funny how, yeah, we can continue, like, we can build something really great, and continuous improvement is cool, right? I mean, we never want to quit. Again, like going back to our original question, we never want to quit being curious and looking at things and trying to make them better. But sometimes you hit on that golden key, that works, and it really doesn't need a whole lot to
No.
make it better. And if it's providing value to your clients and your customers and to the world in general, don't stop,
Yeah.
you
No, no,
know?
I mean, those newsletters literally take me 15 minutes to do.
That's crazy. It's still, 15 minutes to me at this moment in time feels like a lot.
But, it's like it's really stuff that I found, because I'm
Yeah.
always researching, I'm always testing tools, I'm always trying to find a way to do things differently or better or more productively, and, when I started that, it was like God, I have so many things that nobody knows about.
I love when people find things and share them freely. I really do. I really do. I try to do that too some. But recently, I just have not had enough time to experiment and to search and do that wild wandering,
Mhm.
that just follow the stream of consciousness or follow the carrot into the wilderness and see what you find. Unfortunately, I've been kind of stuck in deadlines lately.
Uh,
So, but
I
your
try.
newsletter feeds
Yeah,
that part of me.
good,
So I
good.
appreciate
I'm glad.
it.
I'm glad. Let me know what works for you, like, when, like, in the moment, that would be really
Oh,
good to know
yes.
that I could it'll encourage me to find more like that.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
now, let's get back to you. Let's talk about change, like, the upside of change, because so many
Mhm.
people are terrified of change, and I think I'd love your take on this too, like, as you get older, you go into one of 2 camps. You're either excited by change because 'cause you're ready for something different, or you're petrified by change and you just
Yeah.
stay in something that you know is not the right thing for you.
Yes. Oh man. There's a reason why there's an entire profession around change management,
Yeah.
particularly in corporate America, because there's such a lack of trust. Um, such, and we're actually fighting, like you said, against a natural, normal response to a threat. It is
Mm,
programmed into us.
yeah,
Everything new is a threat until it's not.
yeah.
And most people, well, I don't want to say most people, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people see everything new as a threat and don't have the curiosity needed, going
Mhm.
back to curiosity, to look at it and see what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
And that's where you have your innovators. That's where you have your first adopters to any new change. I mean, you are a first adopter with AI. I am as well, a little later than you, but definitely it excites me. It doesn't scare me. I'm cautious.
Mhm, yeah, I am.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a difference between cautious and being terrified
Yeah.
and not doing anything. Caution allows you to move forward and incorporate that newness
I
into
I
your life.
I also think there's a level of respect with caution.
Yes. Yes. There's an acknowledgement too that we don't know everything,
Mm,
especially if things are new. We have to try and fail, or we have to watch, that we're not being scammed.
mm.
There's way more scamming going on than
It's unbelievable.
anything right now. It's crazy. Um, so there is a certain amount of threat there. But if you move into it with excitement and caution and respect and curiosity, you get the best of all worlds. You
Yeah.
get something back that works for you and that allows you to help others
Mm,
and provide value in the universe. That's, as you can tell, that's kind of my mantra is providing value, creating value. I think that's why we were put on this planet,
yeah.
frankly. It wasn't to, uh, I don't know. I don't know what we aren't supposed to be doing here, but I know what we are supposed to be doing here, and that is adding value, not destroying, you know, people, things, whatever. We're here to build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with AI, like, the approach that I take with it is, it's not from a standpoint of productivity. I think that that
Hmm.
could just happen because it is a time-saving tool,
Yeah.
um, but it's about creating something better than I can create by myself.
Right. If you don't like collaboration in the real world, you definitely aren't going to like it with AI, but you'll like it better than having to go out
Collaborate with people.
and deal with people, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting how AI provides that kind of companionship or that collaborative element for people who need it but don't want to be bothered by collaborating with lots of people.
It's made me better at collaborating with other people
That's good.
because I've never really had an issue with it before, but I kinda do test runs first.
Yeah. Well, it helps you better anticipate,
Yeah,
what questions they might have, what concerns they might have that because of your own biases you don't see.
yeah.
Um, it's better than DEI sometimes, depending on where you're getting your data. It can provide you with different
Well, that's a whole new
perspectives.
level of complexity now, isn't
Oh
it?
my goodness, I know. But it's definitely worth taking a look at.
Yeah,
How do we build DEI into looking at our data, into AI education, if you will?
well,
And
it's a
right
tool.
now, what are we really feeding it?
Well, that's it.
That's what bothers me today. Are we feeding it the old patriarchal? I hate to say it that way, but the general everybody accepts this as the truth, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think probably we are because that's the most data that we have.
yeah,
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 we need to start building better data.
yeah. Well, I think that it is an incredible tool to
Hmm.
prompt people to ask better questions because that's how you get the good stuff. Because there is the surface
Yes.
and then there is the good stuff underneath the surface. And most people are only pedaling on the surface. But the only way that you get to the good stuff is by asking better questions.
Yes. And drilling and drilling and trying and rephrasing and
Yeah,
redescribing and you can spend hours
yeah.
having a great conversation.
And like um when I know that I need to be working with a certain set of data, I'll just use Google Notebook LM and upload my own sources and
That's good.
have it
Yeah.
pull through from my own sources. Then I know what it is.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot of my own sources.
But they're out there. I mean, you
Yeah.
can find them and just upload them.
Yeah.
People from
I do.
organizations that that you trust and that
Oh,
you
yeah, for sure.
and then you're pulling different data and, you can layer that with your own stuff and, um, and that's what gets me really excited because then you can create something that doesn't exist.
Yes. Like you said, it's a great collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff you just never would think of because it doesn't exist in your own brain.
We can't hold the amount of information that it has.
No, no,
So,
no.
like, one of my favorite things to do is to kind of get a little down the road with something and then ask it what I'm missing. What do you know that I don't know about this?
Yes, yes. I love that.
Or ask it to find the gaps and the overlaps of something. And you'll see a whole new window into things that you weren't even
Mhm.
considering.
Right. It's like having the best of all of the thought partners right at your fingertips reviewing your paper, if you will. It's awesome.
Oh, I'll do that too. Like, I build a board of advisors. So, like, I'll have Seth Godin and Brene Brown and Jay
Oh, yeah.
Acunzo, and I'll say, "Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Like, what would Brene Brown say about this? How would Seth Godin pose this question?"
We saw, Brene came out with a new book not too
Mhm.
long like, last week or so.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
I'm about
excited to
halfway
read it.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening. It's 11 hours.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm about
I
halfway
get
through. It's very good. It's very, very good. You will love it. You will love it.
Oh, good.
It's more on the corporate side than it is
Mhm.
on the personal side, and it's about, creating, uh, just more well-rounded teams and having teams that communicate well together and tap into their vulnerability and, they're ready to
Oh,
go into the arena together.
yeah. And how do you build that kind of a relationship
Yeah.
without
And not just the
crossing
relationship,
personal boundaries
but
sometimes?
creating the culture for that relationship to be
Oh,
possible.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about was culture.
Go, okay, go for it.
Okay, so let's talk about culture and
Uh-huh.
how it's different in a corporation as a leader and as a human being.
Wow. In a corporation as opposed to in real life or in a small business or what?
What however you'd like to, like you've got experience, vast experience in all different areas
Mhm.
around creating
Okay.
culture. So where do you see the differences in whether it be like a big company or
Yeah.
or maybe a leader that's in the company trying to kind of like, go against the grain and change things? And
Yeah.
like how a human, like a solo business owner, like me, like you, like because I think one of the things that I think is that when somebody has their own little tiny business, they don't
Yeah.
think the culture matters, but it matters more
Oh,
than anything. It's not even something that they consider most times. So like
right. Because
how
they
they
don't think a
it's just
person
yeah,
can own a culture in themselves, and they
yeah,
can.
yes, yes.
I can if if I describe culture in my company, which is me, basically. And when I need to put a team together, I put a team of 1099s together, other independent consultants like myself.
Mhm.
I don't I don't lead any differently when I'm leading myself as when I'm leading a team, because underneath all of it, A, I like transparency and honesty. B, my culture is one of let's be laid back about things, let's talk about things. I want to build a personal relationship with people that I work with, because I don't think that we bring sometimes our whole person to our work, and our work suffers because of that. I like healthy debate. I like um, definitely a team spirit, but not at the expense of how can I like collaboration, but not at the expense of getting something done on time.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's probably one of my biggest hot buttons in some cultures that I've seen is that they meet and meet and meet and meet and meet and
And
meet,
nothing
and
gets
nobody ever makes a decision, and the work never gets done. And that right there is an indication of the culture of a culture of fear,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
decisions
When I worked at the
decisions
law firm, that
cannot
was
be
that.
made right in a culture of fear. Or in a culture of he said, she said,
Yeah, and no
um,
accountability.
and no accountability. Correct. Whoever brings the problem up to leadership becomes the scapegoat for
Mhm.
everybody else that is involved in the situation. So, I mean, just that is one of the parts of my job that I absolutely adore. Every company, and I get to go into tons of companies. Every company I work with has its own culture. Within that, the team that I'm working with and the project that I'm working with has its own culture. Um, I have worked with some that will not share information. I have worked with some that they copy everybody and their brother on every single email. And so that's another reason why people don't get anything done, because they're copied on all this stuff that doesn't matter to what they're trying to accomplish and they're part of the project. Um, how you get people going against the grain. If there's a problem in the culture and a leader, typically it does somehow in some way come back to something that the leader is showing or not showing physically in their actions. So if your company says, we care about our people, and you've got a leader that works 24/7, has no home life, demands deadlines be met without regard to people's personal situation, demands decisions, but then refuses to make them him or herself. People aren't stupid. The workforce isn't stupid.
Mhm.
As soon as the leader acts differently or says differently than what they espouse in their culture, in their cultural statement or their mission or whatever it is, their grandiose thing, people aren't stupid, and then that leader becomes a hypocrite,
Yeah.
and that's probably the biggest
And then nobody
downfall.
listens to them.
They get discounted. Nobody listens
And then
unless they use force or fear,
yeah.
right? And as soon as you become a hypocrite, you lose a lot of the power on the good side that you could have had to be influential and have people do the right thing without you intervening at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a lot harder to be a hypocritical leader than just being, authentic and living
Genuine.
as you say.
Yeah. And with companies, so often they will have, their values and their mission on a wall somewhere, but they're not living it. They're not
Oh, yeah.
embodying it in the work that they do.
Yeah. People
It's
are going to do
branding.
whatever that leader does,
Yeah.
whether it's aligned with that mission or not. Yep. Leadership is very, very powerful. And a lot of leaders do not realize how much power they actually have um, on the people that work with them.
Yeah. I mean, when I was working and I got pregnant, I was afraid to tell them I was pregnant.
I had an experience in the mid 90s where a bank that I worked for, a huge bank, brought in um, one of the first DEI companies. And she had us do an exercise where women in the company could come and share how they had experienced, the culture of our company.
Mm.
And one woman, and I'll never forget, literally never forget this, because she was a really good friend of mine. Excellent. She was so revered in that company. Came to the middle of the room and said, when I found out I was pregnant with my second child, she was a commercial banker, very high powered. I went to my boss, my executive vice president, and said, "Hey, I'm pregnant, and here's when the baby's due, and whatever." And he goes, "Are you going to keep it?" No woman should have to ever
Be put in that position.
be put in that position to either answer that or
Or think
even
it.
divulge that she is pregnant
Yeah.
until it's time to take
But
time
but
off.
that but that shouldn't be a deciding factor if you want a child, if your job will accommodate
Absolutely not.
your
Absolutely.
life can accommodate it, if your body, if your physical being could accommodate it, not your job.
Right.
I mean, this is why I
And
quit my job because I realized that as a single parent, I could not have
yeah,
that job and raise that child. It was one or the other.
yeah. And that's a tough situation to be in for anybody. Much less someone who maybe doesn't have the education or skills to get a job that, provides
No, I mean, like, I grew up in
even
that
the
job.
minimal,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
I grew up in that job, so the skills that I had were
Mm.
institutional. They were not gonna translate well over to anything else because not only were they institutional, but they were institutional in a dysfunctional company.
Oh, no.
I I went on one job interview and I was so overqualified for this job, but it was like 15 minutes from my house. And I was like, okay, like logistically, I could do this.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I can't believe I'm doing this. And the woman had me wait for 45 minutes. And she comes out and she says to me, you are overqualified for this job, but I had to meet the person that worked at that law firm for 17 years because that was my first job out of college and it was horrible. And I was like, I wanted
Wow.
to slap her.
Well, thank you for letting me be your entertainment for today and wasting my time. You should have billed her.
And BTW, you'd fit right in.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
crazy talk.
brother.
But that's that's the culture that they perpetuated, and because the firm was like 150 years old and global, everything was so deep rooted. Like they're like they're putting their stake in the ground about these values that they have, while there are pictures of like historical figures that were part of the firm. Um, it was hard. I mean, I really felt like I was part of something bigger than me, and I mean, I called it the mothership. I really believed that everything I had, I wouldn't have without that job.
Mhm.
I took no self-value from
Mhm.
anything until I started a business, and then
Yeah.
realized all of the things that I learned how to do that I would have never learned how to do because I didn't even know what they
Right.
were. But I had quite an extensive education just from
Yeah.
just from working.
You can
Um,
get them. I mean, I think that's where most of our best wisdom comes from.
Absolutely. I mean, like, how many people have gone to college and studied something and, they're not using it today? I mean, like everything that I do, even if I had gone for a higher degree, um, it didn't exist.
I know. I look at some job descriptions. I'm a volunteer coach for an organization that helps military people after they leave the service get into corporate life. Okay, so it's interesting how it's such a hard thing for them to transition. So I'm looking at some of these job descriptions that they're looking at, and I'm going, I don't even know what that is. Do you
Yeah.
know what that is? Well, no, I don't either, but I think it has something to do with IT. Oh, it's like
Yeah, I
talking
mean,
to
like, my son just graduated college, and like when he was starting to like look at schools and what he was going to study, he was like, I just don't know. I said, well, if you take communications, if you take any kind of business course, you can't go wrong. There's always
yeah,
you're always going to have to communicate. We take marketing, you're always going to have to communicate. You're always going to have to market something, um,
yeah,
and then you'll figure it out. Like I don't expect you to have all your answers at 17 years old.
yeah. Or they could do what I did and just get an English
Yeah, that works
degree.
too. That works too. If you can write, you can do anything.
That's right.
And yeah, so he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it's so ridiculous, the entire the whole process of the pressure that they put on these kids when they're so young. And I live in an area that's pretty affluent, and the pressure for these kids to start making decisions about college starts when they're like 14 years old.
Can you even believe that? I didn't, I had no idea. Well, I probably could have told you I was going to be an English major at 14 because I decided I was going to write Harlequin romances. But they were my favorite
I
thing.
don't think you needed to be an English major to do that.
No, no, but so now I am a published author under the pseudonym Granny Noonan.
Uh-huh.
I
And are they
do,
romances?
I no, I create dot to dot children's activity books on the side.
It's a good thing you've got an English degree.
Yeah, it's fun. That's my creative outlet, you know.
I love it.
So
I
yeah,
love
it's fun. It's a lot
I
of
love it.
fun.
I love the little side avenues.
Yes, yes. And I forgot to mention that one. That I love it. I absolutely love the graphic arts. I love thinking about education from a child's perspective again. It's been a while for me, so it's coming back.
It's coming back. And, there was another thing that popped up on your website in a couple of different places, which is about, um, reverse mentoring.
Yeah. Reverse mentoring, I did not coin the phrase. Jack Welsh did that way back when he was with GE. What he found was that the engineers, the older engineers, were running into the same problems as we are today, as far as new technology, new, you know, ways of working, new ways of thinking about engineering issues and stuff, such. And what he found was the kids coming out of school had more skills than the ones that had been there for a while, technically,
Yeah.
not obviously in learned
Mhm,
politics and corporate business and all that other, but definitely in the latest tools and techniques, whatever.
mhm.
So he paired some of the and I'm going to say older, but I hate to do that, but it's true.
More seasoned.
More seasoned, senior level. Okay, so he paired senior level folks, engineers, with junior level engineers, not to do mentoring, but not to do the top down mentoring, to do the side to side mentoring.
Knowledge transfers.
Yes, and he created that
Really.
program for them to learn from each other, intergenerational knowledge sharing across, and it also took down a lot of the anxiety of the senior people because they saw it. They
Mhm.
saw, I don't know how to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, they were afraid they'd be pushed
They
out.
were afraid. They were afraid they were going to become obsolete. Well, I was seeing a lot of that in the people that I was coaching, as well as in some of the project teams that I was working on over the last 10, 15 years. And so when I started my company, I glommed on to that idea, and I would create coaching partnerships between individuals in a company like that. I didn't call it reverse mentoring. You can call it whatever you want, but basically, I like to call it side by side
Mhm.
mentoring or intergenerational mentoring. And that way, it's a give and take. It's not a up down,
Yeah.
bottom up kind of a thing. And the interesting thing is the feedback has been tremendous, and especially from the younger generation who you think doesn't want to learn from the senior generation, and that's not true.
I agree with you. I do not believe that's true at all. I think it's a stereotype.
I do too. And it's also a stereotype that the senior generation can't learn these new tools and new techniques.
That and they don't
Not
want
only that, they can learn from them and question them at the same time,
yeah.
from a theoretical perspective and from a lived experience perspective.
Yeah, for understanding where it fits into the business.
Absolutely. And is this a good new thing, or, do we
Is it
need
the
to
way
be cautious with that good new thing?
yeah, and that's
So
what
going
makes
back to
it
that,
so
yeah. So that's reverse mentoring,
yeah.
and it's been a tremendous add to my product list, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible, and, I mean, now we have 5, sometimes even 6 generations
Yep.
available in the workforce at the same time, and there absolutely needs to be better communication and guidance,
Mhm.
collaboration, um,
Yeah.
between the different ways that we do things, and, like, just from doing this whole interview series, I've really learned, and become to feel really strongly that, we're in this age group where, like, the world we grew up in, a lot of that just doesn't exist anymore, you
Nope.
know? And a lot of it we could do without.
Yeah, to
But
be honest with you, sure.
there are some things, like, we're the bridge to bringing that forward, and, the way for that to come forward is for that to share it with younger people.
I think probably our generation has had to adapt more and more quickly than any other generation before us,
Yeah.
um, until now.
Mhm.
And, the speed just keeps going faster and
The
faster.
difference is, like, this younger generation, they were born with keyboards in their hands, so
Right.
they don't know a life without computers. Like, we literally went from the Flintstones to the Jetsons in one lifetime.
Yeah, we did. We really did. Uh, yeah, I mean, between college and my first job, I went from a typewriter to, a word processor,
Mhm.
which obviously is a computer. I've lived through floppy disks,
Daisy printers,
Daisy printers, card punch machines when I was in high school.
um,
Yeah, I mean, and
telex machines, remember telex machines?
yes,
With the tapes?
the tapes, yeah, faxes, which still to this day, some doctor's
I
offices, oh my
used to
God.
I used to know how to take stenography.
I took that class once, but I never
Yeah,
picked it up. I never got it.
I had my own version of it.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think a
I
lot of
tell people
people
I went from
do.
carbon paper to AI.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. That was one of my first jobs in law firms was to, um, like, when secretaries that had worked, like, at the same Selectric typewriter for 30 years were in training, learning how to work on a word processor. I was at their desk, like, getting everything sorted for them so they can come right in and work, and then I would sit with them
Wow.
for like a week and make sure, like, answer all their questions and everything. And you would have thought that they, like, had something physically removed from their body. I mean, they were traumatized.
Oh, and the keyboard's a keyboard.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just
they
really the output.
there was a
And
but I mean, like,
yeah,
worked in Mad Men kind of situations.
yeah. That's
It was wild. It was really wild.
mhm. I remember when the first iPhone came out.
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking, why do I want all that crap on my phone? And now
I know.
I would die if I lost my phone. Let me just yeah. That was my first reaction though, and I can't now the watch, however, I was right about, at least for me, it, I can't do it.
Yeah, mine is
I
sitting
do
on
it to track my health, and
yeah,
that's it. Because I
mine's on my
can't
desk
read that
somewhere.
stuff. It's just too little.
Yeah, mine's on my desk somewhere. Uh,
Yeah.
okay, well, we oh my goodness, I didn't even notice the time. Anyway.
Oh, that's good. We had a good time.
We had a good time. Um, and let me pop your website up here, and everybody, please get in touch with Julie and listen to her podcast, which is amazing. And
Thank you.
she's doing good work in the world. She's creating change in places that are kind of like a desert of change.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
There
not
you
staying in the line, y'all. I'm still going out.
And I like to wrap up these interviews with a wisdom bomb, even though you've dropped like 100.
Oh,
What do you want people to know?
um, add value to the world. That's the biggest thing that you do to make your life as well as the lives of those around you better and not destroy.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you, Donna.
You. Thank you, thank you, thank you for spending some time today, and we are back every Wednesday at noon Eastern with another live interview, so keep coming back. We'll be here. If you have any questions, comments, if you're listening to the replay, just tag us in the comments and we'll keep the conversation going. Have a great Wednesday, everybody, and I will see you next week.